This is the Shawn Yankee Show.
And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack.
This episode of the Shawn Yankee Show is being brought to you by the support of viewers like me. We realize the importance of independent media and truth in this time of mass deceit and propaganda. We have decided to fight for and support it to keep it alive. You can help us in this fight for truth. Contribute at patreon.com/Shawn Yankee. Thanks for coming to the show. It'll begin soon.
Hey, everybody, get in here. It is time for the week in review from the Shawn Yankee Show. We're going to look back at clips and highlights from all the best moments of the past week on the Shawn Yankee Show. So it's a real good time to get an idea for what we do around here and what the show is like. And you get a little sampling of each theme. So it's pretty cool. I enjoy it and I like watching it with you guys. I also host it and hang out with you during it. So I will not only be here live, breaking in from time to time, I will also be in the comment section, hanging out, peeping out with you guys and watching it. I'll be going back and forth from different platforms and hanging out. I like to watch with you. So we'll be doing that. And you might have caught it. I tweaked the intro a little bit. Just a tad, right? Just a touch. I saw that Lolly caught it. But I made you a completely new outro, and I'm thinking about revamping the entire intro. I mean, there's elements I'm going to keep, of course, but just adding little tweaks like what I put in there tonight. I wanted to make it more eye-catching to pull people in because this is a discussion-driven chat show. We thrive off the comment section. The comment section drives this show. It's a conversation every night. We hang out. We have the best peeps on the internet around here. And speaking of, I want to say hello to everybody before we get started with the week in review. So Lolly got first. Hey, Lolly. Jones here. Lee. Time for the greatest hour of the day. Thank you, Joan. Hey, Samuel. Good to see you. Lisa. Will. Paul's here. Top fan on Facebook. Man, I'm glad to have you back over there, even though you're just there to lurk and troll. That's the way I want you there. That's the only way I want you. Don't get involved in my fishing shit or none of that. Don't stay away from that. Stay away from that drama. Hey, Ron, and sharing is caring. Get this out. Share it out to everyone and everywhere. Because if you don't, nobody will see it. And like I said, the weekend reviews are great and real good for sharing and telling people about the show because they can see a little bit of everything that we do. You know, you get a little sampling of each night. You got your news, motivation. There's a little bit of Truth Church in this. You got your morning yank, so you can get a sampling of a morning yank. You got your conspiracy theories and chill, rant night, and then our guest, which this week was Nick Reeder. So you're going to get a sampling of a little bit of all of that. So a big weekend review to look back on, actually. And that's going to be cool. Yes. All right. So it's over, y'all. The impeachment's over. Trump was acquitted. They had an emergency vote or whatever and decided to end the impeachment proceedings. Trump was acquitted. So it's over. And so he is eligible to run again. And he's hyping that. And we will talk about that. We can talk about anything you want. Absolutely anything. But like I said, we're going to watch highlights of the week. And I will be breaking in during and talking about different things that went on, different things that are coming up, all kinds of stuff, and also anything that comes up with that we need to get into. Hey, Michael and Joy. All right. So we got a lot of people coming in. Yeah, 2-0 on the impeachments. 2-0. You know, at least they set a little history. This is the first time they've tried to impeach somebody that's not even in office. You know, he's back to living his life, and they're trying to impeach him, wasting taxpayer money and resources. And I'm glad that the defense for Trump was going to put up an actual defense and keep them occupied for quite a while, I guess they realized, and they backed off. And they just realized they didn't have anything. I think that's really what it was, you know. But look, I want to show you. I brought up some things to show you guys of the acquittal because, yeah, I knew it would come up. This is on CNN. Look at their coverage. Like, so dramatic. Acquitted again. Oh, when will there be justice in the world? You got to see this. Look at that. Look at their front page. And then all these images. And apparently 7 Republican senators crossed party lines to vote to impeach, but they still didn't get the numbers. But Trump's saying that it's not over. And I had something else pulled up I wanted to talk about while we were discussing this. We might as well go ahead and get it out there. I got to bring it up now. I think it's in here. I hate when I'm trying to do stuff on the fly. No, it's not in there. Oh, well, I lost it. I had it and I lost it. But it was Donald Trump's statement. I'll find it and we'll read it later. Lolly says Pelosi came back to the podium 3 times at a presser to piss and moan and shake her hands. I'm sure they're really upset. Thank you, Ron. I love you guys. And that's my favorite part of the Saturday Weekend Review is hanging out with y'all and getting to actually be on the other side and experience this show with you. Oh, Michael Enjoy was talking about gardening. He might live in a more tropical climate. My boss is from Belize, and she was telling me it's like 80 degrees there right now. But yeah, it looks like he's going to be the boogeyman for the next 4 years. He's talking about the MAGA movement not being over, far from over, he says. And I bet you can expect him to run again. I kind of thought he'd be done with it all, but maybe not. But look, I'm going to get going. We have a whole weekend review to watch back. So I will be back on and visit with you later on in the week, especially before Tuesday, because there was a new segment we debuted Tuesday. And tonight I get to watch a chunk of it with you and get your opinions on it live. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll check in before and after on Tuesday, I'm sure. So let's get the weekend review started. This is the Shawn Yankey Show Weekend Review, February 13th. So I got a video. I clipped up the week. We're going to watch that together. And I'm going to come over to you guys and hang out in the comment section. So I will be back in a little while. This is the Week in Review. Right? Thank you for bringing that up, Paul. So Biden promised these migrant caravans that he would give them a quick path to citizenship and welcome them into the United States. So they kept traveling here. And when they arrived, he started locking them up in mass. These children in cages that everyone was outraged about while Trump was president, no one seems to be bothered by it now when they're in overflow capacity. It's funny how things change with a different president, how the cameras just conveniently get pointed away and the narrative changes, and even the verbiage. Overflow capacity, that's a sweet way to put it. But yeah, they're locking them up en masse at the border. They're even going to build new prisons, for-profit prisons. They're filling them up to the brim. It was a trap. It was a trap. Just like the $2,000 checks, just like the promise of $2,000 checks. That was complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. They've more than walked it back. It's ridiculous how far they've walked it back. Yeah, overflow facilities. That's a sweet way to say it, isn't it, Lolly? Not prisons, overflow facilities. I don't know a lot. You know, it's willful. It's not that they took a lot of blue pills. It's not that they don't know the truth. It's that they don't want to see it. They can't. They can't allow it. They need it to be random. They need it because that's all that makes sense to them. And then they accuse you of the exact same thing. When really all you're doing is putting together pieces like any detective would solve a crime. But they've been trained and conditioned to realize or to view a person that thinks that way as a conspiracy theorist. You should accept what you're told. That's what's true. And until an approved source says it, you shouldn't talk about it. That's what they believe. Yeah, how soon they forget. Obama was very big on deportation. Huge fan of deportation. And they quickly forget. We're going right back to Obama-era policies with a rapid pace. And then it's just going to get worse, just progressively worse. You've given the establishment the ability to floor it again on their agenda, and that's exactly what they'll do. Yeah, I know they're using weird math, like Jones talking about. $600 was a down payment, they say. That didn't really come from Trump. That was from Biden. It just seemed like it was from Trump because it happened while Trump was president. But for some weird way that reverse algebra works out, that was from Biden. And the $1,400 will be from Biden too, which equals $2,000, but only if you make under $50,000 a year, and blah blah blah. Probably some other shit they'll sneak in there. Not that they won't give billions of dollars to foreign interests and other special interest groups, but God forbid you get more than $1,400. If you make more than $50,000, you're not entitled to that. Well, you know, us poors, we wouldn't know what to do with that much money anyway. You know, really, they're protecting us from ourselves. We would all just buy Gucci purses and fur hats. We don't know what to do with that kind of cash. Yeah, Lolly, you can't change the deal. Look, you can't shit on Trump and then do the same shit he would do. You know, it is, he didn't even do this in his politics career. He did this in his professional career, like, you know, refusing to pay people and doing shady shit. But they all do. You can't act like him and then call him out at the same time. It's bullshit. But here, I wanted to show you guys some more stuff. Take you on a little journey. I am learning a lot about new cartoons from Gab. First off, Gab is like a whole new world. My news feed over on Gab is unreal how cool it is. It's just all real information, just wall to wall. It's really neat. But I find a lot of cool things over there, like these cartoons. I love these because this one is so on the head. It's got the Democrat over here. We're profoundly concerned about Republicans' use of conspiracy theories. And then it's got Adam Schiff with his Russia collusion, talking about how he has the evidence, which was never shown, never given, never came to light. And they're still talking about Russia. But I just wanted to show you these cartoons. This is Al Goodwin. He's a really good cartoonist that I've been liking a lot of his stuff. And then another one I wanted to show you was this one by A.F. Branco, who I'm also liking a lot. This guy's really good. But this cartoon is about how the Democratic Party is trying to label everyone as a domestic terrorist. Trump voters, conservatives, Christians, libertarians, pro-lifers, gun owners, small business owners, even my pillow customers, all of which are now domestic terrorists, according to the Democrats. And then they are all about this cancel culture. Cancel anything they disagree with. They want everything to be a safe space. They don't want their ideas challenged because they're fragile. They won't stand up to scrutiny, and they know that. So they don't want anything that challenges their weak belief systems. They want to shut you up. It's not enough to them that they could scroll on by or change the channel. They want to take away your ability to speak. They want to silence you and shut you up. That's what they believe in. You know, and this is the organizations that are helping them do it. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, they're helping them do it. They are the opposite of what they pretend to be. And it will sweep up everything in it. This cancel culture that we've allowed to run mad. We will not only not have any truth, we won't have anything of value. Any real art, any free speech, any access to real history, it will all be gone. If we allow this to continue, we will completely lose our voices. And I'm not defending anyone. I'm just saying that if you shut off anyone's ability to communicate and voice their opinions and speak their mind, then anyone else can shut you up. You know, you always feel like, well, I'm right. I'm with the narrative. No one would disagree with anything I say. What about when they do? Then there's no one left to speak up for you. But like, look, for instance, if you disagree with Roseanne about something, now R. Kelly, fuck R. Kelly. But if you disagree with Roseanne about something she tweeted, stop following Roseanne on Twitter. It's really that simple. If you disagree with Kevin Hart for his views about different things, maybe his views on gay people, stop watching Kevin Hart specials. There's no reason why Kevin Hart can't have a career. You know, if you don't like Alex Jones, stop watching Alex Jones. You don't have to try to cancel everything that you disagree with. And this behavior that's what's psychotic, wanting to eliminate everything that you don't like and label it as dangerous and shut everybody up. That is fascist. There's no room for progress in that kind of system. You can't have that. You have to have the exchange of ideas and be open to other people's opinions. You can't try to make the world a safe place. Something I felt was noteworthy and I wanted to talk about just for a little bit. This is interesting. This is very interesting to me. I don't know why more people aren't interested in this, but by the numbers from the CDC, flu numbers in the United States have dropped by a whopping 98%. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. Wow, that's really neat. I don't know why on earth that would be. The excuse that they're giving, as you can see from the image, is that more people are wearing masks. It's the masks. The masks have stopped the spread of the flu by 98%. If you believe that. But what if it was simpler than that? What if it was that those 98% were flu cases that were just misdiagnosed by an eyeball diagnosis or by a faulty test? Doesn't really matter. It was just misdiagnosed as COVID, maybe because of some kind of financial encouragement. That couldn't be, right? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't want to get in trouble for harmful medical advice. I just thought it was nice. It's pretty badass. Go us. We're beating the flu. We've almost wiped it out, yo. Almost wiped it out. This is another thing, this danger of the cancel culture and the safe spaces for everyone and not being able to talk about anything that doesn't fit the agenda and the mainstream narrative. Facebook, which we've already covered as a dying platform, is also banning any claims about the virus or the jab and is going to be promoting the jab exclusively. And shooting down anything opposing it. This is dangerous. This is dangerous because, like we covered in the news, over 500 people have died so far from the jab, and more than 10,000 reports of harm. And that's from the official numbers from the CDC. But soon you're not going to be able to talk about any of that. And everything will be pro-vax. I just don't understand the need for an industry to do this and to restrict any opposition if it's so sound. If the science is so sound and they're so effective, they should be able to stand on their own. And I wanted to close out our little trip through the internet lands with a look at our newest post on the website. This is the website, by the way, theshawnyankeeshow.com. Come over and check it out. But read this new piece, How to Survive the New Normal. This is a new article I wrote about how us woke and aware can survive in the situation we now find ourselves in.
Shit, the year he came out, he was a 7th round pick. The number 1 pick overall was Ryan Leaf.
Drafted 199, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm surprised I knew that. I just recently read it. Is the only reason why I knew it.
Right. So, yeah, we need this impeachment. I'm pretty sure that trying to impeach and take a man out of office that's no longer in office, I'm sure that has nothing to do with trying to make you look over here while they still fuck you on the coronavirus shit over here. I'm sure that has nothing to do with that, right? But they know they're bait.
There's no way that it's complete theater, and that's what Trump's legal team is pushing it as too. Defense says that it's complete political theater.
The guy, I guarantee you, Trump does not want to be back in office anyways. What he was already talking about, even before he left office, was he would rather broaden the scope, broaden the horizon, and allow more people, instead of just one guy. So he's supposedly, even if he doesn't start his own party, he's going to do something. He's going to do something. But he's not going to be back in office. I can guarantee you that. He's a celebrity. He loves being a celebrity. He had his rant. The guy's done everything in his life he's ever wanted to do. He became president on his first try. This is real shit, whether you like the guy or not. And they know their base. They literally know their base because they know their base is literally 100% anti-Trump. They don't have a single pro-Joe follower, not one. So they know their base. So they're like, what can we do to get people to forget about the coronavirus bill that we're fucking them on? What could we possibly do? And then they're like, I got it. Let's impeach Trump. A guy that's not even in office. No, he's not even in office anymore, and he doesn't even plan to be in office ever again. But hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and give our base something that they can eat popcorn and watch TV about. But then again, you know what? Your base can't watch TV or eat popcorn because they can't get their insulin to fucking put salt on their fucking popcorn, and they don't have a TV to fucking watch because you didn't give them their fucking $2,000 paycheck
that he promised. Look how much that meant.
Everything.
You can expect more of that.
It's bizarro with these motherfuckers, man. They'll burn shit down for an entire summer, and then they'll burn DC down and blame it on the right. Even though everybody caught so far 45 people linked to fucking Antifa, right? But nobody's talking about those guys, right? Nobody, not a single one. They're talking about
that shit with them busting out windows. Sorry to cut you off, but that shit with them busting out windows and stuff at Democratic headquarters, that was shit they were doing to try and start a riot, get something going, and it then backfired. Nothing took off. So then they just buried it in the news cycle.
I have a different outlook on it.
You do? What is yours?
I've been saying for weeks. You better watch what you ask for. When you hire these anarchists to come in and burn shit down, they're not going to leave when the job is over. They love burning shit down. They don't give a fuck what side you vote for. Anarchists do not care if you're right or left. The anarchists are fucking literally what they want to do is burn the entire thing down and then rebuild it. That's their plan. And so you gave them an in. You welcomed them in. You gave them an in. You got them going all summer. You funded them. You gave them practice in Minnesota and all these other fucking places. And then after you had the practice like football, you had to practice all summer and get them ready for this big event. Well, the big event came and went, and they expected all their buddies to leave, right? No, that's not how they work. These people, they're going to burn shit down. That's what they do. So now if you see a lot of the left are fucking finally starting to talk bad about them and talking about how, some of these, they need to be fucking brought up on charges and this and that. They didn't say this shit all summer long. And the only reason they're saying it now is because it's gotten out of hand. And I've been saying it the whole fucking time. You know what? When you hire fucking anarchists, don't expect them to leave when the job is done. They're not going to fucking leave.
Well, don't they do that with everything? They did that with terrorists as well.
Yeah.
They built up these terrorist cells and then just like walked away and left them be with all these fancy weapons. And
yep. So now that their paid peoples are starting to become a threat to them, it no longer is summer of love, peaceful protest. Now they're calling it what it is, and the only reason is because they feel threatened themselves because they started a bomb that they can't fucking turn off.
Yeah. Holly, we know that it's politics and theater, and they are blood-sucking creatures. You're right, and it's just disgusting, really.
That's the whole impeachment thing. That's theater, bro.
It is theater, and it's a distraction, and that's really the point that Paul's making, I believe, if I'm getting it correctly, is we're being distracted, especially from the virus relief bill that they promised. Because they're doctoring the shit out of that now. Do you see they're walking it all the way back to where you have to make under 50 grand to even qualify now?
Right. I wouldn't qualify for that. And then also you watch as they keep going with this impeachment bullshit, they're going to drop that down to 25,000. You know why they're going to do that, don't you, Shawn? Because everybody got unemployment. Nobody was denied unemployment. So you literally made 25,000 just on unemployment alone. They're going to make sure nobody gets that money. The only ones that are going to get that money are going to be the ones that didn't file for unemployment that are already on welfare.
and the foreign interest groups and special interests and all of those people that will get the biggest majority of it anyway.
Oh yeah,
They got like 85% of the first two.
That's their bill.
Yeah. Oh, Helen. I just saw something in the comments that I wanted to get to.
About the WHO?
Mm-hmm. I have it pulled up too. So I'm going to bring the article in too. Let me stop the
Check it
banner
out
really quick. I know.
Chach?
I need to put that back up. But yeah, the WHO is dropping the investigation into whether the COVID leaked from the Wuhan lab, calling the theory unlikely. And I was checking this out this morning. And it refuses to confirm that the coronavirus even originated in China as Biden begins to strengthen ties with them.
Of course.
Says the findings suggest that the laboratory incidence hypothesis is extremely unlikely to explain the introduction of the virus to the human population. Therefore, it is not a hypothesis that we advise to suggest future studies into the understanding of the origin of the virus. Why is it not a likely explanation? Why would it not be? Is it more likely that it originated from a bat in a food market?
No.
No. They were doing gain-of-function research studies on coronaviruses in bats at this lab being funded by Fauci and Gates.
The computer repairman was there 16 days before the outbreak, and he was doing a TED Talk in front of thousands of fucking people. And he literally said that they needed to create new viruses in order to strengthen the vaccines that they're making. That's all I know. And then literally 16 days later, the shit gets released from Wuhan. And it was released from Wuhan. Even Fauci admitted it. Fauci said the same thing. Because Trump said that the virus is in the cure, and then Fauci runs up, grabs a mic, and he's like, "Arr!" and he starts talking about how he says, "Well, yeah, technically that's correct. I mean, the viruses are in the flu shots and vaccines, but that's how the body reacts to them. But they're dormant viruses." And then he even said that originally he said that it's very likely that this came from a lab because he showed that it had what it was SARS with HIV traits. And he was talking about the HIV traits being those little suction cups that stick out, around it. He literally said that this was a man-made virus. And then he walked it back, and then he fucking started reading the script. But I always tell people, even on 9/11 and shit like that, always watch the experts, always watch the news as the event is happening, because they're not given a script yet, and they got to fucking say something, and they got to run with something. So they're going to fucking run with the truth, and especially on 9/11, shit like that. For instance, the Florida shooter. This was like 5 years ago. The guy went into an airport, shot up the place. The guy on TV, Lester Holt, reported that he was part of the military, and that the shooter claimed that he heard voices in his head. So we know where this comes from now. We're talking Montauk shit. So the guy hears these voices. He goes to the airport. The voice tells him a certain bag is going to come around the terminal. That bag fucking comes around the terminal. He grabs that bag. The voice tells him, go to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom. The voice tells him, open the bag. He opens the bag. There's a fucking 9mm in there. Pulls it out. The voice tells him, look under the sink in the bathroom. He fucking opens up the sink door, and there's the clip. Puts the fucking clip in the gun, and then the voice fucking tells him to go out, and he fucking goes on a shooting rampage. And this was literally, Lester Holt reported that originally, that was what happened. And then they walked that shit back, and you never heard about it again. That was the biggest fucking massacre at an airport in history, and they scrubbed it within minutes. You never heard about it again. Every one of these fucking mass shooters, and if you think I'm lying, please do the research. Every single mass shooter is linked to the military in one way or another. Family with military, or their parents were military, they lived on a military base, whatever, or military themselves. Every single fucking one of them, every one of them are linked to the military. Even that fucking one kid, David, fucking what's his name, Hodge or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? That kid, that activist. Yeah, that activist kid. Even he's linked through the CIA. His dad was in the CIA.
Did you see he's starting a company to compete with the MyPillow?
He's a.
Can you believe that shit? That's true.
Shawn, it's a big club and we ain't in it.
I know. But yeah, they're gonna boost this kid as the competitor to Mike Lindell and MyPillow. So because they're gonna take down anyone who had anything to do with Trump. And they love them. You were just talking about it earlier. That they're using him as a useful distraction.
Yes, they'll never get rid of him. They're not. They will never fucking stop talking about him because that's their whole base. If you look in your messenger, I sent you a picture in your messenger. This is very interesting. This is to the point where they literally do not fucking care anymore. They will openly tell you that yes, we are a cabal. Yes, we cheated this election. Yes, we did it because we think this is for your own good.
This is from Time. It says that's why the participants want the secret history of the 2020 election told. Even though it sounds like a paranoid fever dream, a well-funded cabal of powerful people ranging across industries and ideologies working together behind the scenes to influence perceptions, change rules and laws, steer media coverage, and control the flow of information. They were not rigging the election. They were fortifying it. And they believe the public needs to understand the system's fragility in order to ensure that democracy in America endures. Is that what HR 1 is supposed to be for?
HR 1 is...
No, I know. It's to help rig elections. But it's always the opposite. They tell you that they're telling you it's to ensure the integrity of elections. That's just the exact opposite of what it's for.
In 2016, this is literally everything on there that you're reading. We got in 2016 in emails telling us that the reason why they choose the delegates in a smoke-filled back room, the reason why they do this shit is because for your own good, because they don't want their words, not mine. They don't want a grassroots up and comer taking over their club. Their words, not mine. They don't give a fuck, Shawn. And they practiced in 2016 everything you're seeing in 2020. Everything. This is like flashbacks. I'm literally reading the same thing they sent me.
No, and I feel that way all the time. That's why I keep coming back to Bernie being involved from the very beginning. That these were trial runs to see if they could get away with it.
Yep. Guaranteed.
But yeah, there it is right there in black and white. That's wild. In Time magazine.
Oh, they don't give a fuck. Who knows?
No, they don't care.
All right.
Okay. I want to check in with you guys before Truth Church. This is a segment. This was an idea for a segment that I had, and I liked it. I had a really good time. Some people did not. And I want to hear from you if you did not like this segment. Now, we're going to watch a piece of it, about 15 minutes of it. It was hard to edit a piece because, and now I understand, as Tony was saying, he needs a good 45 minutes to give a lesson. So when we do this segment, and unless something changes my mind, I think it's a good segment, and I think we will be doing it again. But I am open to other perspectives. Like I said, this is y'all's show too. You know, I want you like it here and feel welcome here and have a good time. And the entertainment value is important. So I am opening my ears up to criticism on this and to your points of view. I would love to hear what y'all think about Truth Church and what you think about it moving forward and being a continual thing that happens regularly. So that's what we're getting ready to watch is the first installment of that. It's all I took from Tuesday for the show. Tuesday night on the Shawn Yankey Show is motivation night. And I thought that Truth Church would fit really well with it. And I still feel like it did watching it back together. And because it's working on you is what it is. Now, I'm using it because I like learning about the Bible and my faith, and I find it very educational, and I absorb the information well from Tony, So I love Truth Church. Paul loves Truth Church. It didn't bother Ron, but I know Lee didn't like it. He may not want to say, but he didn't like the language. And I understand. I get it. It's shocking. It's shocking, especially in a religious context. Because I know I grew up in what was a Baptist family, and they were very, very reserved and mannerly. I was yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, all of this. And cussing was frowned upon. But it's never bothered me. I realize I don't even hear it sometimes. I really just like when someone's being genuine. I like when they're being real. And that is one thing Tony is 100% is real. So I absorb it better from that point of view. And I also think he's very knowledgeable and a good source of information. And like I said, and I mean, well, I didn't say it yet, but it's good to bring in people that wouldn't normally listen to that kind of discussion. So I feel like it has benefits in many different ways. Now, it doesn't speak to the type of person that would be offended by the use of language in a biblical sense when reading scripture or speaking of God, in that way. I understand that and respect it. So again, this goes back to a philosophy that was on the show ever since the beginning, that there would be no safe spaces for anyone, even me. But again, it seems like a lot of people dig it. So it probably will stick around and you'll see it again. So I hope so, because I liked it. And I'm looking forward to learning more about it, more about the Bible and, my faith and religion and all of that from Tony, because I would like to get perspective on it. What I have is all created in my head. I made it up. I associate myself with Christians. But like I was saying, that's because that's what I closest relate to from what came to me. I came to this on my own. I had questions for a long time, religious questions that I still have. And maybe I'll get some answers now with a little guidance at Truth Church. So we're going to watch a segment of Truth Church. So cover your ears, Lee, and check it out. This is the first installment. We had a little bit of technical problems, but the part I got didn't really have any in it. I cut that out. And hopefully I get Tony's message across. Hopefully I got a good segment. That's one thing I was really worried about with editing this, is doing justice to what he was trying to teach. I don't want to take anything away. I feel like I got the whole segment. So I'm happy with it. But let's check it out together. I want to watch it with you because during it, I was running the show. So I didn't get to actually see anyone's reactions and how they felt about it. So I'm looking forward to watching it with you. And that's what we're going to do here in a minute. But I have to roll my smoke because I'm going to go and smoke this while we watch. And real quick, I'd love to know what y'all are smoking on. If you want to let me know in the comments. This and all shows that we do are cannabis friendly. In fact, I was thinking about, but it's just there's no time. I would love to do the cannabis show more, the 420 Central show. I'd love to bring that back in some sort of way, maybe monthly, because I want to raise awareness about cannabis as medicine, because that's what it is. And I just want more and more people to view it that way and to remove the stigma. That's a good philosophy, Ron. Believe in everything and nothing at the same time. That's a good way to be. Ron smoking on cherry pie. You got to be you, man. I would rather somebody be real than fake with me. And Joan's right. He puts things in an understandable way. And that I think is the most important part of it. That the message is getting through in an understandable way. I think that's valuable. Even if you don't agree with that particular teacher, their methods, rather, I think you still could see the value in it. You see what I mean? Lee says, I skipped the cussing, but not the false teachings. Simple as that. Okay. I'm going to talk to you. Because I want to see. I don't want to make any assumptions as to what you mean. But let's check out Truth Church, and I'll come back after to discuss my take on it too, to experience it with you guys.
So this called to the law and to the testimony, and why it's called that is because everybody who claims to have read the Bible, claim to understand it, they really don't. You know what I'm saying? Because people interpret the Bible. They say this means this means that. And we're going to show how the Bible's supposed to be read, who's supposed to teach it, why it's supposed to be read this way, and also tell you about who you are and what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start this out in Timothy chapter 3. Timothy chapter 3, we're gonna pick it up at verse 16. First, wait, let me just see if it's first or second Timothy, because I didn't put it, there was Timothy 16 and 17. Yeah, it is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. 2 Timothy 3, 16 and 17, and it reads, all scripture is given by the inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, and for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect. So you could be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. And all good works is just keep a natural law. That's good works. So we all the scripture is given by the inspiration of God, right? So that's what we established. So God inspired this book. So when people be talking about, but man wrote it, who the fuck else gonna write? Can a fucking zebra write the Bible? Can a fucking chimpanzee? So who else gonna fucking write? Man is the only motherfucker who can write. So of course he gonna write the book. But what you doing is parroting what somebody else done told you. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't know, why you would say something like that. But man wrote it. But the inspiration came from God, right? We just read it. So all these scriptures are inspired by God. Now let's go to Isaiah 34. Back up to Isaiah 34. Hey, Tony, why the fuck are we going from this book to this book to this? Well, get ready. We gonna do this the whole time we doing it. So let's go to Isaiah 34 now. Isaiah 34. I told you don't nobody know how to read this book. Let's go to Isaiah 34:16. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16, and it reads, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read." Did it say interpret it to me? Did it say, oh, and the Lord said, and the Lord, did it say that? It didn't, did it? It said, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Is that not fucking simple? See, what we do is we complicate the shit because the shitters done taught us that it was complicated, and it is not. So let's continue. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Why? No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And the spirit is his angel, because spirit means a number of different things in its context. I also have a lesson called spirit in its many forms, because spirit can mean breath of life. Spirit can mean angel. Spirit can mean word. You know what I'm saying? Spirit has a number of different meanings depending on its context. Context is everything. So first we read all scripture is given by the inspiration of God. So to all the people who, that man wrote the Bible, God inspired it, right? Now we just read that it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None of these gonna fail. What's the book of the Lord? Duh. You know what I'm saying? So now let's go over to Daniel chapter 9 and see how Daniel, one of the greatest prophets in the Bible, how did he get understanding? Let's go to Daniel 9. Daniel chapter 9. What the fuck we keep going back and forth in the Bible for, Tony? God damn it. Stick to one chapter. No, this is how it's supposed to be done. Daniel 9 and 2. Daniel 9 and 2. To the law and to the testimony. That's what we're doing. Daniel chapter 9 and verse 2. And it reads, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books. He understood by what? In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem. So when Daniel and the Israelites were in captivity during the reign of Cyrus, Daniel understood by the book of Jeremiah, the book of Isaiah, and other books of the Bible. And Bible, by the way, means books. So Daniel understood that he was in the 70-year captivity. Right then and there, he was in it. He understood by these books. So all scripture given by the inspiration of God. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None of these shall fail. The greatest prophet in the book, Daniel, other than John the Revelator, is reading Jeremiah. You want to go see where he got that? Where he understood by books and he understood by the mouth of Jeremiah? Let's go to Jeremiah 29 real quick. This ain't in the lesson, but we might as well read it, right? So Jeremiah chapter 29, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let's go. Hold on. Okay, verse 10, Jeremiah 29 and 10. It says, for thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon, I will visit you and perform my good word toward you in causing you to return to this place. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. That's what fucking Daniel read, and he was like, holy shit, I'm in the 70-year captivity. You see how easy it is? And today we have history because we in the last days, so we have history we can line up with the Bible. And the history lines right up with it, right? So Daniel understood by books. Isaiah said, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None of these shall fail. Timothy said that all scripture is given by the inspiration of God. We on one subject, right? I'm going to explain why we doing this. But look how all this shit is opening up. Is it not making sense to you? Did I interpret anything? No. Let's go over to Isaiah chapter 28 now. Isaiah 28. Isaiah chapter 28, we're going to pick it up at verse 9. Isaiah 28 and 9. So we figured out that all scripture is given by the inspiration of God, is good for reproof, for instruction in righteousness, for correction, right? Then we find out, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. And then we found out Daniel understood by the book of Jeremiah. So the book of the Lord that you must read is this, right? So this is what we understand. Now, what we have to do is see who's supposed to teach this. Because everybody's confused right now. Why the fuck we going back and forth for reading little bitty scriptures here and there and all this? What we doing this for? Why we going back and forth in the Bible? Yeah, everything you saying making sense and lining up, but why the fuck are we doing it? Well, first we got to find out who's going to teach. Then, as it continues, it'll start to open up to you. So now, Isaiah 28, we're going to pick it up at verse 9. Isaiah 28, 9, and it reads, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So the ones that teach are the ones that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. What in the fuck is weaned from the milk and drawn? So the niggas sucking on titties is the, they not sucking the titty no more. They don't grew. I don't understand. Is it a kid? Is, you know what I'm saying? We're going to see what the milk is. What the milk is that he weaned from, these teachers. Let's go over to Hebrews chapter 5. Hebrews chapter 5. Hebrews chapter 5. It's like them weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. What the hell does that mean? What are we going to show you? Hebrews chapter 5. And pick it up at verse 12. Hebrews 5 and 12. Hebrews chapter 5 and 12, and it reads, for when the time that ye ought to be teachers, right? Ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become as such that have need of milk and not strong meat. So what is that milk? The first principles of the oracles of God. Let's back up and go back to Isaiah 28 and reread that with the understanding. Isaiah 28 and 9. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the first principles of the oracles of God. You see how you get understanding? This is how you get understanding. This is how you get understanding. You know what I'm saying? So let's go see why you get understanding this way. Why did I not understand in the Old Testament the milk, and then Hebrews told me what the milk was? Why is that? Let's go over to Revelation chapter 19. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10. Revelation 19 and 10. And it reads, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And they said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant. So the angel is the fellow servant. Angel is a little higher than us because they live forever, but they equal to us. You know what I'm saying? So you don't supposed to be worshiping angels. But what the fuck is the world doing? Are they not worshiping an angel called Lucifer, the light bearer? Yes, they are. But he said, I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God. For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Again, like I said, that spirit is word in this context. So it is, Jesus is the word of prophecy, the testimony. So the New Testament, When you don't know what the fuck's going on in the Old Testament, you go to the New Testament, and the New Testament explains. So when these people are just fucking cherry picking verses like it's a goddamn fortune cookie, they full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because all this shit connects. So we understand that the ones that teach us wean from them first principles of the oracles of God. Well, what's the first principles of the oracles of God? Understanding that you have to keep natural law. What's natural law? Don't steal from your brother. Don't lie to your brother. Don't sleep with your brother, wife. Don't sleep with your sister, husband. Don't covet after their shit. If they got some nice shit, ask them where they got it to go buy it your fucking self. You know what I'm saying? Honor your mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? Don't treat them like shit. They brought you into the world. You know what I'm saying? Don't steal and don't kill, motherfucker. Simple math, brothers and sisters. This is natural law. This is the law of the gods that you live forever. You understand what I'm saying? Or you comprehend what I'm saying?
All right. So that was the very first episode of Truth Church. And I was hanging out with you and watching it. I'll talk to you later about it a little more. I don't know. I see a lot of the problems people have. I'm not going to say I don't. I get it. I like the jarringness of it. I like how it keeps you off guard. That's what I like a lot about it. And I feel like the information gets in better that way. But there was some good input in the comments everywhere. So I'm going to take all that into consideration and figure out where we're going moving forward. But I thought it was great. And I really appreciate Tony doing it. And that takes a lot of courage, I feel, to share your passion like that, especially when you're passionate about something that is, not widely accepted by everyone. It's not popular to go around speaking about the Bible. Even people that consider themselves religious don't actually enjoy that very much and shy away from it. It's not popular. So he's putting himself out there. And, I'm not saying that everything is right or not. I couldn't. I am faithful. Someone help me with what to call myself. I really don't know, because I came to it on my own terms, but I do base it on the Christian faith. It is a little harsh. It is. I won't lie. I mean, I get it. My grandma would pass out. That's what I was trying to say earlier. But I always hated that. I always hated the restrictions. Like when I first really got into reading, I loved Stephen King and I wanted to read everything he wrote. And she would try to tell my dad that I shouldn't read him because he used swear words and stuff. I don't like the idea of restricting your expression. So I'm a little nervous about reading this, Lee. I got to tell you. But I'm going to read it. I'm going to check it out because I do want to learn more about the Bible and the Word. I want to learn it. I'd like to know it where I could skip around the Bible like he was doing, like they read it in church. So I think that they do all relate to each other. And he's right. It's different books. So it's hard when you look at it and break out individual pieces, because you got to have the whole thing, and analyze it using the whole thing from what I understand. But Michael Enjoy mentioned Pastor Murray and said to spent years and years in Bible school and college. And not only that, spent time traveling the world learning about the Bible and the Christian ideology. He's a good pastor. He died in 2016. You could still find all the sermons and lots of information that coincide with what's going on today of his, I assume, online. That's where I found Chuck Missler. I like Chuck Missler a lot. I've been learning about the Bible from him. He's very slow paced, though. I'm still learning Genesis, but he really breaks everything down, even scientifically. So it's great. Next is going to be Conspiracy Theories and Chill. Wednesday nights on the Shawn Yankee Show, we do Conspiracy Theories and Chill. And that is when we just hang out and talk conspiracy theories. It's exactly what it sounds like. And about once a month, I make a brand new Conspiracy Theories and Chill video that we watch together. The next one's going to be on the World's Fair. But this is going to be an example of what we do on a Wednesday night. Let's get back to the week in review. Thank you. You like this? I love these kind of shirts. I like subtle movie shirts that don't give away the movie they're from. And, you know, I just don't really like having like the big title of the movie on my shirt. But I like movie references. So Lisa says Q. We've covered Q before, and we can talk about it again. It kind of ties into what GD wanted to talk about with JFK Jr. being alive. I don't think so. Now, that's just my opinion. But there is a theory that JFK Jr. faked his death. And, you know, there's some substance to it. It makes sense. I think where he ended up was a Clinton body bag. I think he was a threat to a Clinton, which is a very dangerous thing to be. But he may have realized that himself, took it upon himself to protect himself the only way he really could, which would be by faking his death. A lot of people believe that he is at the very tippity top of the Q theory. And like Paul was saying, that Trump is going to fly in on a flock of bald eagles on March 4th, transform into JFK Jr., put on his magic Q glasses and shoot lasers out of his eyes. I don't think so, man. I think he was a problem and for the establishment. You know, Kennedy tricked them. This is why they assassinated him in the end. He manipulated them when he was running for office. He convinced them that he was going to be their guy, and then turned on them once he was in office. Started doing him and his brother's agenda that they had planned all along. He was just telling people what they wanted to hear. And I think they learned their lesson with that. And JFK Jr. was poised to rise. He was going to win that Senate seat. Hillary Clinton would not have won that Senate seat. And I think he would have been president. And they knew that. So he was a threat to much more than just Hillary. No, I know. And that's what we're doing. We're just talking about different theories. That's just my opinion on it. That doesn't mean I'm right. I get that it makes sense. And then as far as QAnon goes, like Lisa wanted to talk about Q, I'll give you my opinion on that too. I think what it was is a quantum computer that was being manipulated by the alphabet agencies. I think it did have to do with the alphabet agencies and military intelligence. But I think what they were doing was manipulating the population. It was a psyop. But what it was, the QAnon itself, were these drops that did have truth sprinkled in them and real information. And really, when you factor in the quantum computer theory, it makes a whole lot of sense, because these things read like a horoscope. You could really interpret them how you wanted to. And a lot of people did. And I think that's how it got out of hand. But it also had a lot of good in it. It pulled in a lot of people to researching, which is great. because, like I said, there was truth in it. And then Linwood is great. I love Linwood. I follow him on Twitter. Aliens and governments. Hey, they're rapidly approaching disclosure. You know, they already released all UFO documents. Well, the CIA, you know, of course they did, all of them, sure. But they have 180 days in that last relief package, that one that was 3.5 feet tall. They have 180 days to disclose everything to the public about aliens and UFOs. And yeah, they released all UFO files. If you want to look through them, I have a link to them on the website, on the ShawnYankeeShow.com. And you can go over and it take you right to it, and you can look through all of them. They're redacted to shit, of course. But what they're going to show you, though, in my opinion, when they release alien information or show you an alien, will be demons and interdimensional beings. I don't believe that they're going to reveal to you alien life from other planets. But that's what they'll call it. And I think so too, Ginger. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Sharon. Welcome back, y'all. I'm going to show you something later because there's more people here. Did you guys get to see the little intro for Conspiracy Theories and Chill? I love that. I'm so proud of it. So I'll definitely play it again. But if you missed it, I made a little intro for this segment. Are you guys talking about the ant people? The Hopi ant people. I was trying to cover that. Paul wanted me to cover that. Top fan. He even put it on the poll, and I think it won. But man, that was a tongue twister. A lot of the words and different parts of the mythology and all that, it's very hard to say. I need to get back to it, though, because it did win. And I kind of cheated and didn't do it. So we did talk about it, though. We did spend a whole night talking about ant people. Lolly, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would at this point, but I really don't think anything amazing is going to happen anymore. I just think it's such a clusterfuck because they've lost control of everything. They're hold of the narrative, and they're trying to reel it all back in. And now they're resorting to massive amounts of censorship to do so. Yeah, Lisa, the Hopi ant people, I'll attempt it. It's very hard. But these people, the ant people, the Hopi Indians, Native Americans, tribe in, where's that at? Ute, Arizona? Is that right, Lee? Correct me if I'm wrong. They credit these beings that they say came from inner earth, the Hopi ant people. And they came and they led them through all of the major apocalyptic events that have happened throughout time, told them where to live, told them how to farm, taught them everything. They credit the ant people from inner earth with all of this. So we covered it on a Conspiracy Theories and Chill, or I tried to. We talked about it. I read the myth and everything. But most civilizations have like some kind of a story of beings coming and helping them and teaching them and instructing them. The Hopis just happen to be from the inner earth. So it's interesting. The Hopi ant people, if you want to check it out. Ginger says Facebook is banning all anti-vax information and vaccine misinformation. I did see that. And they're shutting down all political speech on Facebook as well. And it's getting frightening. Joanna's talking about the secret space program. What I think that has to do with, and let me know if you agree with me, there is a secret space program. But I think it has to do with interdimensional travel and time travel, things like this. I don't think it has to actually do with traversing through outer space. But let me let you know how crazy I am. I don't think we go to outer space. I don't think that's something we can do. I don't think we've ever been to the moon. I don't think we fly around out in space. But a lot of people think I'm wrong about that. Matter of fact, I've had people that have been violently angry with me about that opinion. I don't think we can leave low Earth orbit. And NASA's pretty open about that. They talk about it all the time, that the farthest they can go is low Earth orbit. But what the secret space program, I think, would be is stuff like that. Tesla type research and manipulation of the fabric of time, the kind of shit they're doing at CERN, different things like that would be what the secret space program would be, in my opinion. Ro thinks that everybody that survives the chemjection are going to be sent to Mars. Are we going to put new batteries in the rover? Yeah, neighbor narcs. You snitch on your neighbors. It's being encouraged through virtue signaling. They pat each other on the back and feel like they're all good people because they're doing it. They're keeping everybody safe. You're trying to kill your grandma. I actually heard someone say that to somebody today. Not the grandma thing, but about kids. They are someone that babysits. And they were like, I saw you at Walmart without a mask on. How could you put those kids in danger like that? And I had to say something right away. Like, they were in no danger. That mask doesn't protect you from anything. I had to lay down the law. You can't let people be comfortable spreading that kind of misinformation and bullshit and trying to shame somebody like that, and get her a little virtual signaling rush of endorphins from doing her job and being a good citizen. Don't let people reward themselves like that. Embarrass them when they do it. Yeah, hashtag heroes. No. Discourage this shit. Nip this in the butt right now. Yeah, RFK Jr. off Instagram. He's an environmental lawyer and also an activist for vaccine regulations. He's not anti-vax. He wants there to be regulations. It's been unregulated since 1986. Hey, Javier. Y'all fucked with my head, brother. I had a good time, though. I had fun on your show. We're doing Rant Night right now. You missed the new intro for Rant Night. We made a sweet-ass intro. And if I get away with the music, I'm going to improve the visuals. The visuals will get fancier, too. I'm going to start doing a lot of cool stuff if I can get away with cover songs. I didn't even know you could do that. I don't know what took me so long. I was late to the party on that. But so far, we haven't gotten a hit. I looked on both platforms on Facebook and YouTube, and so far, no hit. That's good. They're usually right on top of that shit. Rose says she wants to just hug people without a mask on their faces. Last night, I got a little discouraged at the end because we were talking about masks. And I am forced to wear one at work every day. And I do philosophically disagree with it. I disagree with having to wear it. But I do it. I submit and I do it. And I'm a little ashamed of that. I wish that I was in a situation where I could just be like, fuck it, and walk out. So it makes me a little ashamed that I do break down and wear this mask every day. But as a person that's forced to be a mask cop and ask others to wear the mask, I'm not offended when you say no. My job is I have to give it to you. you know, the little shitty disposable masks that they hand out. Would you like a mask? You do not have to take it. Now, what I don't like is when people will be an asshole to me, the guy at the restaurant who's handing you a mask. That guy had nothing to do with any of this. That guy might be me, and dude, I don't even care if you take it. I wish you wouldn't, honestly. I just have to give it to you, or my boss will come running out of the back. You got to offer a mask to everybody. I have to give it to you. They are talking about, look, that's up in my tabs. Where's it at? Yeah, Biden officials and Biden himself, I think, is talking about travel bans to Florida, cutting off travel to Florida because they're being too lax in their coronavirus restrictions. So we're just going to start shutting off parts of the country that's not falling in line enough. You know, if their governors aren't cracking the whip and bringing the lockdowns, we're just going to shut down travel to those parts of the country. You want to? I could show you what I look like with a mask on. I have them, but yeah, I know, Joan. I know, right? I have to go to work, unfortunately, and I'm good at my job. I like my job. I just really wish I could take that stand because I am against it. And you hear that scratch in my voice. I think I've had that ever since I started wearing these masks. I just never get rid of it. But I do look stupid with a mask on, Jessica, and everybody does. And we really need to put a stop to it. But taking a stand against the guy at the restaurant or the guy at Walmart, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to make a difference. You got to educate and take your individual stand in those moments, but remember that person is not your enemy. Most likely, we do not even care if you take it. Lisa says, sad. I think the masks are a joke. I never wear one, and sorry you work where it's forced. It is. And, you know, where I'm at, I don't know where you are, Kentucky. I haven't been there in a while. I live in Missouri now. I'm from Kentucky, but I live in Missouri now. You can't even have dine-in restaurants yet. It's almost been a year that our lobby's been closed. You can't even have a dine-in restaurant anymore. Ooh. Are we getting real? That's real. Marie says she asked her sister if she's okay with my door being beat down and my family being rounded up and disappearing. What are they, the contract tracer type? That's who will turn on us, is our neighbors, our family, our people we think are our friends. And they'll do it because they believe it's in the best interest of everyone. Yeah, I'm good. I was just saying it bummed me out because I don't like that I do it. I wish that I was able to take that stand, but like Joan says, you got to put food on the table somehow. So flour won't pay for itself. Babels tells me that all the time. Babels is very wise. Yeah, no thanks. That's it. That's all you got to do. You don't have to throw a fit. You don't have to. I've had people cuss me out. Why? Why? Like, do you really think I can do anything to affect the law? You know? You're probably lucky they're letting you come out for a sandwich. You know who I feel real bad for is there's a lot of people that used to hang out, like especially older people would hang out, and there's like a community vibe. at the restaurant. That's gone. And I don't know. That's sad to me. But it looks like you got a lot of support in the room. Now, you've kind of went away from politics, as I have. As from what I've heard, anyway, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I've come to the feeling that it's theater at the national stage.
Yeah.
That they're playing.
We got sold a lot of stuff, and a lot of it didn't come through. And I don't know, I was just really annoyed by it. And then I realized that a lot of it was bullshit. Now, I still believe in Trump. I still support him. I still like what he stands for. He did a lot of good for this country. But he also sold us a lot of stuff, a lot of hope. And so far as it sits, a lot of it didn't come through. I mean, hell, Joe Biden's president. So, and as we all know, Trump said that they stole the election, and, you know, he's basically saying that they were going to fix it. And as you can tell, Biden's still president and nothing's been done. So,
right.
It's a lot of bullshit. And I don't know, man. I can't deal with that shit. It pisses me off. They all fucking lie. They all bullshit, and they get you to do what they want you to do. So you push their agenda so they can capitalize off of it. And I mean, and I feel what you've been through with Bernie, dude.
I kind of was thinking the same thing while you were speaking. I was going through the same emotions.
I was so pissed off. I was so pissed, let down, hurt, deserted. I mean, up to his last day, he was talking about the election and everything, and then he just like left office. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell? Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I was pissed, dude. Like, there's a lot of shit that we ignored while he was in office because of other things we thought was going to happen. And the things we ignored happened, and the things we thought were going to happen didn't happen. I see you grinning. I know.
I was saying this all along that I felt it was the psyop to get that to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what it did. But
there's a lot of good that came out of it. Go ahead, man.
There is. No, there is. I've said that too. I actually wrote a piece for the website recently about that, and how now that we've played it all the way through, we should come together and realize we still have a common enemy and common goals, and we need to unite and fight against these people. There was a lot of good that happened, a lot of good going on, and I see no reason why we can't continue. Just like I felt like the revolution that I was a part of with Bernie didn't need to fall apart. It's the hero worship that we hinge everything on this, and then when they go away, you all fall apart. Yep.
I agree, yeah. And a lot of the savior complex came out, the hero worship, the idolatry. You know, we put him on a fucking pedestal, expecting the world, and he got taken out. Now, honestly, I think his heart was in it. He did a lot of good for this country. I think he loved this country, and he got screwed over at the end. I've read a lot. What was his name? Something. Patrick Byrne was in the White House with Michael Flynn and Sidney Powell at the end of December, and they were discussing Trump's options. And from his account, his firsthand account, now if he's accurate or not, I don't know. I'm just going off of what he said. He was in the White House speaking to Trump directly with Michael Flynn and Sidney Powell, with giving him options through Trump's executive orders to actually audit the election and be legal. And his own lawyers were not giving him that option. His own lawyers never told him that option, and they were trying to basically run out time and give Trump a different path because they knew that Trump wouldn't be in office. They were basically going to run out the clock. So Trump would run out of legal options, and then everybody who was, not sidestepping Trump, but basically leading him down the wrong path was going to get a massive payout in high-paying jobs after Trump left office. And that's if he's accurate. it's firsthand account information from inside of the White House, from a person speaking to Trump and saw his own lawyers lying to Trump's face. Even Mark Meadows was screwing it. He's the chief of staff.
So they were sabotaging him, you think?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it played out that way too. If a lot of people are like, oh, Trump still got this, Trump's doing it. But if you watched his body language after the 6th, it was totally different. And then his first appearance after the 6th was down in Texas at the border. He looked completely defeated. It wasn't Trump. Like, it was him, obviously, physically. But
right. I know what you mean, because I saw the same shit with Bernie.
Yeah.
After the walk with Obama.
You could tell that he had gotten fucked over. He knew it was it. And then his last appearance, when he left the White House, it was not his bravado talking. You know what I mean? Like, he's larger than life. He was not, at the end, he was just like, well, he basically said, what did he say? He said, have a nice life and we'll see you soon. I'm like, that's the last words you put out to the American people as president? Like, and he didn't address the people. So that annoyed me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was like a slap in the face. He addressed all of his people that were close to him, and there was nothing to the American people like, hey, I'm sorry, I tried my ass off and it didn't work out. It was just like he left us all hanging. Now he's got his own shit going on, and I understand that. So I'm not gonna really like shit on him, because I really appreciate what he did, and he really woke up America, and he got people to pay attention. He did amazing freaking things. I'm just a little sore.
He left it that way because he thought maybe something would be done with these court cases or anything, or you think he knew it was over and that was his final greeting?
He looked defeated. He looked tired. Yeah. It looked, and at the same time, how I feel he's going to come back. Trump will not go away. He has put 20, 30, 40 years into this to become president. This isn't just a fly by the seat of the pants to become president thing that he did. He planned it for years. So he's not just going to go away. I think he's going to come back with a social media platform or a media platform. He's going to keep sticking it to him because he said he would come back. He said our movement was just getting started. And Trump's not just going to disappear. He's going to continue riding the wave that we created with him. So I'm not, it's just, it left a bad taste in my mouth how it ended with everything that all of us did to continue what he was doing and to push him forward. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely could have. You know what, though, might have made him afraid to acknowledge his supporters is how they're demonizing them right now and trying to convince everyone that they tried to overthrow the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
And that everyone was in grave danger. And they were even grilling about how he didn't act while even Pence was in danger. They weren't in. Where was the danger?
I know. So there's a lot of things that we don't know, and I try to I try to let things play out before I get, really upset over things. I was at the time, but I'm not going to hold anything against him. He has a chance. He can come back, and he'll get everybody back. People still love him.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't already started touring, because his rallies always did fantastic.
I think he'll wait. It'll be another 6 months or so to a year until you see him back in public really pushing, because there's a lot of hurt feelings. There's a lot of bad things going on, and he's dealing with a lot of shit. He's dealing with the impeachment thing, which is pretty much a waste of time, but he's still got to deal with it. It takes his attention away. The Southern District of New York is trying to come after him, his family, his foundation, his organization, everything that he did in the White House. He has so much legal shit that he has to clear out right now. Everybody's coming for him. Everybody wants to tear him down. So I'm not going to sit here and harp on him, because he's got a world of shit that he's got to deal with. And the people need to do their own thing on the side, which is good. The people have still kept moving forward. We're still a lot of people are hurt by it, but we're not we're screwed and it's over with. You know what I mean? It's not a completely deflated thing, because we know what was done to us for years. We know what's being done to us right now. And we still had a plan, you know what I mean? Like, we just keep moving forward.
That's good, because that's what I was hoping for, is that we would keep moving forward against this agenda that is holding us all down. We do realize we have common enemies.
I think he'll be back I think 6 months to a year, he'll start to put his face out a little bit there. He'll start putting out like, you'll see it. It'll be a slow progression. There'll be
So
a little.
you think he might run again then? I
think so. Like, if he gets the support, which he's not going to lose support. I think he'll run in 2024. If not, maybe his son or somebody like him. But it has to be, to continue the movement that he created. It almost has to be him to come back, or his son, or Don Jr. But that's like, these people are very intelligent and they understand human nature very well. So it has to be someone similar to him, or someone that our entire movement is still hooked in. And our movement doesn't really like anybody besides Trump. I mean, there's very few politicians that we would back, even if Trump backed him to be president and to continue what Trump was doing. Because
so even with the way it left out, would you support him again?
100%. I would support him. I would support him, but I would not push like I did from 2016 to 2020. I can't do that. I don't have it, man. I'm done. I'm tired.
You were a huge supporter.
I was, man. I pushed that shit. So we built it from absolutely nothing to what it was. Like, there was nothing. Like, everyone was so afraid to talk about him, to put anything out there in public. And we created a community. We created a foundation on social media that just got huge and got people talking about things when nobody else was. So we did our job, man. We did what we needed to do. And I always knew in 2015, when I started supporting him, I was like, Trump is all or nothing. He is an all or nothing candidate. He's either going to take everything out and really build up the people, or he's going to be a colossal failure. And right now, he was a huge success. I mean, he did huge things in the global spectrum. He went after China. He brought peace in North Korea. He didn't go to war with Iran. There's like 4 or 5 peace deals in the Middle East. I mean, Trump did amazing things for the world that people don't see or don't know because the media buried it. Even North Korea, people aren't talking about North Korea. Dude, if that's the only thing he did in office, that is a monumental thing that he did.
I never understood why, because the media always framed it as negative, him doing that.
They
told the shit out of him about it.
Yeah, that Kim Jong-un outsmarted him or something. Like,
right.
Like, dude, if that happened under Obama or anybody else, the media would have loved him, because that would have gone with the global plan. Anything that the media downplays or hates, it's against the global plan. Just like they went against the Paris Agreement and the Iran deal, and now Biden's getting us back into it, getting us back in with the World Health Organization. That's how I always know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. When the media attacks Trump or downplays it, or tries to spin it in a negative manner when it's a really good thing, that's how you know that it goes against the global agenda.
All right. So that was the week in review, and that was Nick, who was our guest Friday night. Next Friday night, Ty Nightfall's coming back on the show. Sorry, I'm eating a gummy. I don't know. Let me see. No, it only shows me Facebook. I can see everyone who's clicked like, heart, and laughy face on Facebook. And but I can't see YouTube individually. But yeah, we got a thumbs down on YouTube. We have a hater. Or maybe they took it back. Flowers are a perfect gift for yourself, Lee. You must treat yourself. Michael Enjoy said he did really good and a little bad. I found that I can't like your comments or reply to you. I thought it was everybody, but it was only yours. It might have been you took the comments down. I thought that may be what happened. Sometimes that happens. But that was weird. At first, I thought I was in Facebook jail. Yeah, I know. And look, they're not going to quit trolling me for a long time. Hold on. We'll address it because I think I figured it out. I got to go plug this in, though. How much backstory do we need to give? You guys are all up to speed, right? So, well, maybe not. I'll back it all the way up. I agreed to be on a panel on the Right to Reason podcast. And it was going to be, when I first agreed to it, I agreed to a 4-person panel. And then after I agreed, they added another person, which 4 was already cluttered, I felt. 5 was definitely going to be a shit show, but I still was going to go through with it because Clinton is a good friend, and he was really outnumbered on the panel. He was the only person that would be considered open-minded or conspiratorial is the word they would use. So anyways, I stayed on the panel. I go and do the show, and I stayed for a good chunk. We were only going to do an hour worth of recording. I stayed for 37 minutes. Okay. And you can listen back to it if you'd like, the episode of his show, the Right to Reason podcast. You can find that on YouTube. But I'm telling you, in 37 minutes, we had not discussed anything along the lines of what we were supposed to discuss or had a discussion yet. At 37 minutes. So I was out. I could see it was a waste of time. It was just, there was 10 and 12 minute ramblings. One was extreme Trump derangement syndrome to a level that I'd never heard before. It was insane. This one I actually got into a screaming match with. Well, he was screaming. He lost his shit. But the other one didn't even have a conflict with on the show. He was actually quite reasonable on air. He was trying to calm down the other guy that lost his shit, actually, and let everybody talk. But for some reason, ever since that episode, he has been fucking obsessed with me. And it's Ben Fama Jr., right? And he's, making memes and trolling me and shit. But that's not what's been bothering me. This has been on my mind all week. Now, they keep needling at me, like I did Javier's show. And I know that was a setup. So I'm not stupid, And once I realized I was a little defensive because one of the commenters on his YouTube video actually said, I like this guest, but why does he seem so defensive? Because I knew what was going on. I know what was happening in that situation, and it just kept rubbing my face in it. But I did Javier's show for the same reason that this is hurting my feelings. So now we're going to get back to it. I figured it out. I figured out why it's bothering me. I thought these people were my friends. And I kept making excuses for them. I kept rationalizing different behaviors as, this or that, and giving them pass after pass. But now I see it. I understand. But I was the butt of a joke, and they didn't get to do it. I fucked up their bit, basically. We were their stooges, and I didn't play my part. I bowed out instead. I guess. I don't know. Or Joan is right. Joan thinks he has a crush on me. That could be it too. Very pretty. And I have an excellent t-shirt collection. So he may. I don't know. But you've seen that name somewhere. You have, because he's a filmmaker of sorts. I almost had him on, reached out to him to have on a long time ago when I was doing the Daily Burn, because he made a viral Bernie Sanders video that was really good. It really was. And it just never happened. I never had him on, but I had heard his name long before this. So I understand why you may have. He's probably got other videos. I think that's what he does. Well, he said they treated you like that while telling you they had nothing but love for you. That's what kept fucking with my head. Do you see what I mean? And like, look, I was remaking the intro. You know why I only tweaked a little bit? Why I only tweaked a little bit of it and I didn't do anymore? Because I'm seriously considering redoing the audio of the intro. Because it bums me the fuck out. It was the coolest thing I'd ever gotten. The nicest thing anybody ever did for me. I was so moved by it. I asked him to read so it would be in someone else's voice, the promo, because you want your ad. He reads the plug. You want your ad to be in someone else's voice and someone that sounds good. And he fits both bills. I love it. I love it. But it puts me in a bad mood every night when I hear it. It gives me bad vibes. So I don't know. I don't know what to do about that, because I don't think I could do any justice to what he made. That is amazing. So I probably won't mess with it, but I've got to learn to deal with it and move on. But I see now. I realize what bothered me. Lee said, JJXX, you too. But you're not the first he teamed up against. No, That there was that, you're talking about that tag team they did on that pastor. Wasn't it a pastor or something? Hey, how you doing? That's a new name. Welcome to the show. We're having a weekend review. Right now we're wrapping up. We're talking about some old, hopefully it's going to become old shit. They're not going to drop it. He said that he's got a video coming out about me. So there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. I'm just going to have to learn to work on myself and not let it bother me. There is no such thing as bad publicity. So he makes viral videos. Maybe you get my name out there. Be good exposure. I don't claim to be anybody but who I am. And my main quality on these shows is being authentic. So I know I've fumbled. I know I've messed up. I know we've had dumpster fires galore. So you'll be able to make a good video making fun of me, I'm sure. I can't stop you. But like Lee said, this is why I need to realize, and this is why I need to start learning. This is the lesson in this. You're not responsible for their actions, only your reaction. And that's what I'm going to work on. Maybe, Ron. I don't know, because the vibe is different for me now. Because when I edit the weekend review, I download each episode from YouTube and then put it in my editor and cut it up and all that. So I had to listen to that intro 6 times. And I don't feel the same way about it anymore. I'm emotional. I'm an emotional guy. I'm all heart. And I do everything that way. And it broke my heart realizing the truth. Because I mean, I'm not going to go too far into detail, but I really believed we were friends. Like real friends. I would have considered him a real friend. I don't like that kind of manipulation. You know what I mean? So I may be changing it. I don't know. But visually, I might be changing it as well. For sure, might be changing it. Adding things. Like I want to add a little bit of the Zapruder film. I want to add a little bit of the towers collapsing. I just got to be real careful what footage I use because they're censoring anything, any excuse you give them. Like the bumper I made for Rant Night. I'd play it for you, but I get another copyright hit. I used the cover version of If You Want Blood by AC/DC. I got a copyright strike on YouTube from it, so we're gonna have to find a different version. It was the best one I found, so it makes sense that it was, by somebody that's probably got it copyright. I thought you couldn't copyright. I didn't understand properly, I guess. Lee says it's not just because you're emotional, it's because you're real. And I guess I project that quality onto other people that don't deserve it. I don't know. That's likely. But here we go. I made you a brand new outro. And I might tweak it, because this is my first pass at it. But I like it. I think it's fresh and new, mixes it up a little bit. Also, I made some changes to some things in the old outro that were bugging me. But this has been the Week in Review. I had a really great time hanging out with you guys. Have the rest of your weekend. Have a great weekend. Lee, get yourself some flowers. I will see all of you Monday night for Hindsight News and a brand new week of the Shawn Yankey Show. Have a great night, y'all. Thanks for watching this with me. I'll see you then.